Okay, good. So give everyone a few moments here to join us. We're going to do a yin yoga series today for the spine. So go ahead, grab your mat. If you have some blocks, that would be great. If you don't, that's totally fine. We can totally do the practice without any blocks. Strap is optional. I don't think we'll really necessarily need it, but you may if you have to modify something, so it's always good to have that on hand. Make sure my volume is up. Okay, good. That should help. All right, so we'll get started here in a moment. Have Odessa's with us today to help us demonstrate some of the postures. It would be really hard to give you guys really good instruction if I'm just kind of laying on the floor, so have a little bit of help. So we can go ahead and get started. Just place your mat in a place that is comfortable for you, wherever that may be, your living room, bedroom, whatever works best for you, where you can be kind of quiet and focus on you for just a few minutes. We'll get started lying on our backs. We're going to start in the supported fish pose. So if you have a block, we will go ahead and place it underneath the base of the shoulder blades. So remembering that the block has the low level, it also has the high level. And we want that block to be at the base of the shoulder blades, so about here. We don't want it down low and we don't want it up high. If we put the block too high, we'll have pinching in the lower back. So if you get that block positioned and you don't feel comfortable, you probably actually need to move it down a little bit. And then your head can hang if that's comfortable on the front of your neck and your throat. If that's really too much of a stretch, then we'll go ahead and place the block underneath the head. That way you have a little bit of support. Good. And then we're going to take arms go out wide in your supported fish pose. They're stretching into the front of the shoulders, opening up the front of the chest as well. Legs stay nice and long. If you were hoping to get some hips in, we can go ahead and take the feet together, let the knees fall out to butterfly. That'll stretch the inner thigh, get a little bit of work on the hips. If you need more stretch in those shoulders, like this, just having the arms out wide isn't doing a whole lot for you, then we'll go ahead and take and raise your hands up overhead and reaching them towards the back of the room. That'll really stretch a lot more deeply into the front of the shoulders for you. If that's too much, then go ahead and take your arms back to center. Maybe you don't want to work on your shoulders at all today, and instead we'll take those hands to your ribcage and really just focus on your breath. Long, so full inhalations to the count of 5, and long, slow exhalations to the count of 5. Kind of have a little bit of limited space in here. So if you haven't taken a yin class before, yin is different than a traditional vinyasa or asana class. We hold our postures much, much longer. Usually 2 to 3 minutes is a good time to hold a posture for. So we move super slow. We do have a flow. This flow is focused on spine. So we'll just be working on postures that help to strengthen and stretch the spine. So we're stretching deep into the muscle fiber. We're also stretching connective tissue, such as ligaments and tendons, and helping to realign the fascia. So here, as we are just starting out, I want you to form an intention for your practice. So your intention can be really anything. It can be a thought, it can be a feeling, it can be a color. Maybe it's something you want to work on right here, right now on your mat, or maybe it's something you want to carry forward with you throughout the coming days or weeks, or maybe it's something you're working on for the whole year. But whatever that intention is, it's yours and it's unique to you and your life. And once you have that, let's go ahead and seal it into yourself with 5 full inhalations and exhalations. once you've completed that 5th breath, I want you to just go ahead and roll onto either side. It doesn't matter which side. And we're just going to curl into fetal position. So we want those hands cradling the head. We're going to draw the knees into the chest. And we're just going to give ourselves a few breaths here to reset, to recenter, to enjoy that feeling of warmth that spreads across the back where we had that block at, as the fresh blood circulates between the shoulder blades. Good, and then with your next inhalation, I want you to go ahead and gently roll back onto your back. And we're going to draw the knees into the chest. And then we're going to make some great big circles on the ceiling with the knees. So we're massaging the sacrum, the outer hips, the lower back. We want 3 circles going clockwise and then 3 circles going counterclockwise. That way we have balance and equal work on both sides of the body. Good. Once we have our 3 circles in each direction, we want to go ahead and drop those feet back onto the mat. We're going to stretch the legs long down towards the front of the room, and we're going to reach those arms up overhead and give ourselves a long, full body stretch here. So 1 full breath in and long, slow exhalation. Good. We'll draw the knees back up, feet flat on the floor. So feet together and knees together. We're going to move into our first spinal twist. So we're going to gently windshield wiper the knees back and forth from side to side a few times. Just creating some movement in the hips. Good. We'll meet back in center. And we're going to go ahead and drop those knees all the way over to the right. So the feet will stay together, the knees will stay together. Now, if you've done this and you feel like you have some pinching in the knees or it just isn't comfortable, we can grab one of our blocks and place it in between the knees or under the knees, so wherever you feel like you need some support. The blocks are not a hindrance, the blocks are a tool, and we use that tool so that we can provide some balance and some support and stability, and that allows the muscle to relax and release. If we're sitting there and we're trying to introduce a stretch and it's too much stretch, then the muscle will sit there and contract and it will fight you for the whole entire time that we're in the posture. And since we're here for a while, we want to start it out gradual and then just allow it to deepen the longer that we're here. So using those long, slow, full breaths in. So long, slow inhale to the count of 5, 3, 4, 5. Pausing at the top and then exhale. 2, 3, 4. And 5. Beautiful. So we want about 5 more breaths just like that here. So maybe we've been here for a while and we feel that we can settle in a little deeper. 5 breaths should be about a minute if they're nice, long, slow, full inhalations. So settling into the posture, releasing more along the spine. When you have your arms up overhead like this, we want to make sure that this left shoulder is worked all the way back down onto the mat. Reaching, stretching. And then we want a good twist through the spine. Very good. And then knees closer into the chest, so knees closer to you. We'll stretch more in the middle back, and then knees closer towards the front of the room. Is going to stretch more into the outer hip and the lower back. So maybe experimenting with that and seeing what you need. Good. With your next inhale, we're going to go ahead and draw those knees back up to center. So nice and slow. Good. Let's windshield wiper them again from side to side a few times. Just creating some movement. Good. Then we'll meet back in center. And we'll go ahead and drop both knees over to the left. Beautiful. So again, here, if you need that block, let's go ahead and get that block under or in between the knees. If this feels really good, then I just want you to focus on releasing and relaxing a little more with every exhale. Arms can go out wide, or you can reach that right arm up overhead and work into the back side of the shoulder. Remembering that the knees closer into the chest is going to be more stretch in the middle back, the thoracic spine, and knees closer towards the front or the bottom of your mat is going to stretch more into the lower back and the outer hip. So always seeing which option fits you and your body, like what do you need today, and really honoring that and listening to that. Trying not to push things too far, always starting it out gradual and focusing on that breath and releasing a little more the longer that we're here. So yin is not fast at all. It works to restore balance to not only our body, but our minds. The super slowness, the super deep breathing really helps to lower our cortisol levels, which is like always important, but it seems to be super, really important right now. So just being aware of that. Oops, I've lost my time. Good. You have one more breath here. So long, slow, full inhalation. And long, slow, full exhalation. And we'll inhale, we'll draw those knees back up to center. Good, let's windshield wiper them again from side to side. Or if you want, you could actually make some great big circles on the ceiling again. So remember, this is your practice, doing what your body needs. Whatever I say is, I'm here to guide, yes, but it's always just a suggestion. So listening to what your body has to say. Good, we'll meet back in center, and again we're going to stretch those legs down long, reach the arms up overhead. Good, and give yourself a full stretch here, one full inhale, and long slow exhale. Good. Then we're going to take and stay exactly how we are, and we're going to move into banana pose. So you're going to walk both hands off the right hand corner of the mat, reaching for me here, and then walk both feet off the right hand corners of the mat. So you're making this nice long curved shape with your side body. Good. You should have stretch all down that whole left side, from the elbow down behind the shoulder, the rib cage, outer hip. Maybe you even get lucky and you feel it on the IT band on that left side. So working your breath here, remembering not to start it too deep, just moving into it and allowing the body to settle into it the longer that we are here. Good. If you feel like you need some additional stretch here, you can cross the right ankle over the left. That'll push that left hip back into the mat. Should have anyhow. There we go. We want to try to keep that left hip down, just nice and anchored, and getting a lot of stretch there on that side body. Looks really good. So working on that breath, maybe coming back to your intention. Or maybe we just need to focus on the breath. Maybe it's too hard to even set an intention today, and we should just focus on breathing. So long, slow, full breath in, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pausing at the top, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, long, slow breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pausing at the top, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Try to release. Long, slow breath in to the count of 5. 5. Pausing at the top for just a second, and then fully exhale, melting into your mat. With your next breath in, we'll go ahead and gently walk our legs and our hands back to center. Good, so getting nice and straight on the mat again, and then for our counter pose, we're just going to move right into the other side. So we'll walk both of the hands and both of the feet off of the left-hand corners of the mat this time. Beautiful. Making that nice long curved shape with the side body again. I'm going to try to keep our right shoulder down. Yeah, just melt it into the mat. Keep that right hip down. Melt, melt, melt. Go ahead and cross that left ankle over the right. That'll help to anchor that right hip down. Good. And again, always just starting gradual. Focusing on that breath. We don't want to start the posture out super deep and have to back out of it or off of it as we're here longer. So we start it gradual and we ease into it. That way, by the time that we get to our full expression of the posture, we still have really good stretch. We've taken it right to our edge, but we're not overdoing it. Our body's not resisting us. Using that breath. As you exhale, maybe you can walk the hands a little bit further, or maybe you can walk the feet a little bit further, or maybe with your exhale you just feel a little bit heavier on the mat. Good. One more breath, long, slow, full inhale, and long, slow, full exhale. Beautiful. We'll gently walk ourselves back to center. You can go ahead and give yourself one more long full body stretch here if you'd like. Long, slow, full inhale, and long, slow, full exhale. Good. We'll go ahead and bring the arms down to our sides. Our shoulders are probably getting a good workout. And just give yourself 2 breaths here, just resetting, recentering yourself. If you set an intention, maybe coming back to that. If we did not set an intention, it's perfectly fine. Just really focus on the breath and bringing that cortisol down. Good. With your next breath, let's go ahead and draw those knees back up. We want the feet flat on the floor, knees are together, and let's windshield wiper the knees back and forth again a few times. Good, so we've done a twist, we've bent from side to side, we have not done anything backwards, so we're going to go ahead and move into a supported bridge pose. So we'll press through the feet, lift our hips up, and then we're going to put the block underneath the sacrum, not underneath the lower back, but underneath the sacrum. And remembering that the block has a low level and a high level. So lift, there you go. It should not feel like any sort of discomfort. If you're not sure if you have the block in the right place, you can lift your feet straight up to the ceiling, and if you stay on the block and everything is stable, then you have it in the right place. Yep, just like that. Good. So here we're in a supported bridge pose, so we have a little bit of backwards movement with the spine. Arms can go out wide. You can reach the arms up overhead, or you can take the hands to the rib cage again and really focus on that breath. Remembering it's your practice and doing what feels best to you. Maybe you wanted some additional work on the hips. So here in this one, you could actually take it into reclined butterfly and take the feet together, let the knees fall out for butterfly, and stretch into the inner thigh. So it's always your practice. Just making sure that you're listening to your body and doing what works best for you today. Which may be something that you did the other day, or may not be something you've done before at all. So again, that's going to be unique and individual, just as you are. Long, slow, full breaths in to the count of 5, and long, slow, full breaths out to the count of 5. In our spine series, we try to move our spine through all the different movements that the spine should have. We try to bend forwards, we try to bend backwards, we will twist from side to side, and we will bend from side to side. So all those are all movements that the spine should be able to do. So creating movement, which helps with stiffness, which helps with flexibility, also relieves a lot of tension from the low back. breathing, so helping to reduce cortisol overall, releasing tension from the whole body, not just the spine. You've got about another minute in this posture, so really focusing on that breath. Really trying to release just a little more with every exhale. Good. With your next inhale, we're going to go ahead and if you're in butterfly, let's take the hands to the outside of the knees. We're going to gently, slowly bring those knees back together. We're all going to meet back in that supportive bridge pose. And then we'll press through the feet, lift the hips. We're going to remove the block, roll the hips back down. And then we're going to draw the knees into the chest and make some great big circles on the ceiling. So that's massaging where we had that block, had this apron. Maybe it feels kind of warm, tingly. Maybe it just feels super good. So again, we want 3 to 4 circles going clockwise and 3 to 4 circles going counterclockwise. Beautiful. And then we'll meet back in center. And when you are ready, we are going to press ourselves up, or you can roll up into a seated forward fold.
Okay.
Do you want to scoot forward a minute? Thank you. So, with our seated forward fold, first of all, we want to sit up nice and straight and tall. We don't want to be slumped back at all, putting any pressure on the lower back. And then you can extend your legs long and really work on stretching into the hamstring, or we could take our feet wide and again stretch inner thigh. So that's kind of up to you. As we start to fold forwards, we want to let our head hang and try to release some of that tension that's in the neck. However, sometimes we do that and it feels like we can't let go of our head and we have so much tension in the neck. So in that case, we will take and place a couple blocks and we're going to bring our forehead down to block. There we go. Beautiful. So again, making sure we're not rolled back. We don't want any pressure on that low back. We do want stretch from the base of the head all the way down the whole spine. As you're here, as you inhale, you should be able to feel that your head rises just a little bit. And then as you exhale, it lowers a little more. You can soften just a little more. If you have those blocks stacked up, as we work through here, because we're here for about 2.5 minutes, we can start to work down to a lower level of the block. So if you're on 2 high blocks, maybe you come down to 1 high block and 1 low block. If you have the high and a low, maybe you can remove the low one and work it down to the high one. But either, if your head is hanging, you should be able to work closer and closer and closer to the floor as you exhale, as you release tension, as the muscle lengthens. Time and gravity are such a huge help in this posture. So just allowing them to work for you, not fighting the time or the gravity. Focus on that breath. Long, slow, full inhalation to the count of 5, and long, slow, full exhalation to the count of 5. Beautiful. Okay, so keep it going. We have 1.5 minutes still. Long, slow breath in, and long breath out. Really focusing on that breath, really allowing gravity to help you. more breaths. So long, so full inhalation. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pausing at the top and then exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, long, slow breath in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pausing at the top and then exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Long, slow breath in. Pausing at the top. And then long, slow, full exhale. Good. And then we're going to start to rise up super, really, really slow, as you can, stacking one vertebra on top of the next, bringing your head up very, very last. So we don't want to bring the head up first. You're like unrolling the spine, bringing that head back up. And then once the head is up, we're going to place those hands behind us and push through the palms, lift up through the chest, and let the head fall all the way back in our counter stretch. Hands behind you. Yeah, push your chest up, lifting through the chest. Yeah, and then let the head fall all the way back. Good. So that is your counter stretch for the forward fold. Good. When we back in center, we're going to move into a twist. We're going to move that block. Good. So right leg long, we're going to bring up the left leg. So, yep. And then put your legs close. Yes, very good. And then we're going to take the right hand and wrap the left knee. Oops, there you go. Left hand will go right behind the tailbone. That back should be nice and straight, so sitting up as straight and tall as we can. And then we're going to rotate all the way over to the left, looking back behind that left shoulder. So here's another twist for our spine. Very nice. So this is a more active pose for yin. There's a lot going on here. We're using our body to kind of make us twist. So again, we want to start it out as gradual as we can and just deepen it a little bit the longer that we're here. We're not in this posture very long. Good. One more breath. Long, slow, full inhalation to the count of 5, 3, 4, 5. Pausing at the top, and then we'll exhale 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to unwind ourselves. You can go ahead and stretch out that left leg. Take both hands over to the right side, and we're just going to kind of bow over that right leg. So I'm untwisting all the steps. So both hands here, both hands here. Yes, and then just kind of bow over that right leg. There you go. Beautiful. Good job. We'll rise back up, we'll meet in center, and then it's the same posture on the other side. So this time we'll bend the right knee, and we're going to twist over to the right this time. Oh, perfect. Good, so keeping that right hand right behind the tailbone, supporting our spine, helping us to stay nice and straight. Again, this is another one where we don't want to be leaned back, putting pressure on the low back. We want to step nice and straight, as tall as we can, and then twist. Again, not forcing the posture, just allowing it to happen, allowing it to deepen a little bit more as you exhale. So if something is ever painful, we want to immediately back off, yes. We do want to stretch like to our edge, but not from the very, very beginning. Good. We've got about one more breath here, so long, slow, full inhale. Pausing at the top, and then long, slow, full exhale. Good. We can go ahead and release, and then this time we'll counter it by just bowing over that left leg. There we go. Good. And then we're going to bring ourselves back up to center, and we're going going to move into a tabletop position. So knees under the hips and hands under the shoulders. So you're going to be nice and flat like a table. There you go. Beautiful. Then we want to rotate the elbows back so that they face the thighs, and that you should feel kind of a widening across the base of the shoulders. And then we're going to inhale, bring the head up, let the belly fall down. So you create that curve in the back. And then as you exhale, we're going to push away and round the spine, bring your belly up to your spine. You should feel stretch in between the shoulder blades. And then inhale, come back up to cow. And then exhale, press the floor away. We're trying to make like that angry cat as you exhale. Good. Inhale, back to cow. So let the belly fall down. Bring this. There you go. And then exhale, push away. Good. So let's get 5 more of those at your breath. So really focusing on the breath, moving with the breath. Inhale and exhale. Not forcing it, just doing what feels really super good to you. This should give you movement in the whole spine. This is super helpful for any kind of lower back pain. It also really helps to stretch the thoracic spine in between the shoulder blades. Good, so a couple more. Wonderful. We'll meet back in center, and then we're going to send the hips all the way back into child's pose. So hands stay where they are. Hips are just going to slide back so that your hips are over, like literally stacked right on top of your heels. Stretch those hands forwards towards the top of your mat and bring your forehead down to the mat. So child's pose is actually an active pose, even though it looks like you are just resting, because you are actively stretching those hands towards the top of your mat, getting stretched on the whole back side of the shoulder. You also have a widening across the base of the shoulders, and then you have length happening in the lower back. So long, slow breaths in here, really focusing on releasing through the spine. If you want to take this deeper, you can keep the toes together, but separate the knees and put one knee on each edge of your mat. It's called Peaceful Warrior, and that'll allow you to lower the body more in between the legs so that then you have a deeper stretch in the hips. So again, it's your practice doing what your body needs. Focusing on the breath and just settling into the posture a little bit more the longer that you're here. Good, we're going to gently bring ourselves back up to tabletop, and we're going to move ourselves into melted heart pose. So if you have a block, this would be a fantastic time for the block. If not, I'll give you some options on what to do if you don't have a block. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the block over there. We're going to place the block, just slightly in front of your hands. So if you have your hands in tabletop and your hands are right there under your shoulders, you want to put the block slightly in front of your hands. And then you're going to keep the hips over the knees so that the joints are stacked, hips over knees. And you're going to bring your chin down to the block as you stretch your hands towards the front of the mat. So we're lowering down. Yeah, there we go. So you should have a deep bend. Ooh, yes, there we go. And the middle part of the back. Perfect for 2 minutes. If you don't have a block, what you can do is you can roll up some towels, or if it's super hard and super confrontational because we're pushing the chin back, really stretching through the front side of the neck, and that's really confrontational for a lot of people, you can then take your forehead down to the mat, or you can just let your head hang. As long as we don't have tension in the neck, we want to avoid tension in the neck as much as we can. We are trying to relax. So long, slow, full breaths in And long, slow, full breaths out. This is a good posture to check in, make sure we're not frowning, check in with your jaw, make sure we're not clenching the teeth. And this is another really good one to really focus on the breath. It can seem like 2 minutes is an awfully long time to be here. It does get easier though the more that you practice it. We're halfway there already, so working on that breath. Releasing from the front of the neck, opening up through the chest, stretching those fingertips forwards, and allowing length to happen through the middle back. Good, 2 more breaths. We're almost there. And one more long, so full inhalation to the count of 5. And long, slow, full exhalation to the count of 5. Good. We're going to just push ourselves all the way back into child's pose now. So hips over those heels, forehead down to the mat, stretching those arms forwards and giving yourself 1 minute here to just reset and recenter yourself. Bringing that forehead down, so allowing the back of the neck to lengthen now. Keeping those hands stretching forward so we have that stretch across the base of the shoulders. And again, if you want more stretch in the hips, you can take and turn this into Peaceful Warrior by taking the knees apart and allowing yourself to settle in a little deeper. Good. One more breath. Very good. And then we'll go ahead and gently start to press ourselves back up. You can come back to tabletop if you'd like a few more of the cat-cow. You can go ahead and take those. Moving with your breath, inhaling up, and then exhaling, pressing the mat away. So long, slow, full breaths in, and long, slow, full breaths out. Good. If you don't want to take cat-cow, there is another posture that's called Dancing Lion that you could take, where you circle the hips and the shoulders, so you stay in the tabletop position, and you just make circles with the whole body. So I know a lot of people like this one. It is a good variation. If you are taking the Dancing Lion, you do want to make sure that you're getting equal work on both sides of the body. There you go. That's very nice. Thank you. Good. So we'll do a couple more here. And then when you're ready, we're just going to transition back down onto our mats on our back. Good. So we're going to do a breathing exercise here before we finish up. What I want you to do is I want you to gather up all the tension in your body. Go ahead and take your arms down beside you. And I want you to tighten up your hands and clench them into fists as hard as you can as you inhale. And then as you exhale, I want you to release your hands. And this time we're going to take it a little further. As we inhale, we're going to clench our hands, clench our feet. Maybe you clench your jaw. Inhale. And then exhale, release all of that. And then again, we're going to inhale. And this time I want you to tighten up everything in your whole body. Your arms, your legs, your hands, your feet, your jaw. Maybe you frown. And then exhale, we're going to release it all. Good. 2 more, just like that. Inhale, make everything as tight as you can. Gather up all your stress. And then exhale, release it. 1 more. Inhale, gather up all your tension and all your stress and make everything as tight as you can. And then exhale, release it all. Beautiful. Good. So we'll just end right here in Savasana. Everybody looks fantastic. Legs are long. Arms go beside us. I can't find my timer now. Let's take a quick scan of our body and see if we're holding any lingering tension or tightness or resistance or stress. And then as you exhale, just release it. It doesn't serve you. There's no purpose in carrying that around. Good. So long, slow, full breaths. Taking these last few minutes to really focus on you, on your breathing, on what you need, and on what your body needs. Everything has been so busy and so crazy, but it really is okay to take this time for you. It really is okay to release some of the stress and some of the tension and some of the anxiety. And I want to thank each of you that took the time to show up today. It's fantastic. I've seen a lot of people check in, and I really, really appreciate that. I hope that you enjoyed your practice, and I hope that you stay well and have a wonderful rest of your day. I will go ahead and save the video and post it for later, so if you want to come back and do it again, you certainly can. And next week we will do another series of yin yoga. We could do hips, or we could do shoulders. Let me know what you'd like. I'm always open for suggestions. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.